Did we take the road less traveled by? Hello, world. Jeff with Worldline Cards, and I'm here to talk about collecting, investing, and most importantly, growing your online business. Today, we're going to be discussing Ascended Heroes, and I'm going to be revealing some places that I'm parking my money instead, and just want to share it with you all. So, before we really get into it, I think long-term Ascended Heroes is going to be a fantastic buy. Let's just get that abundantly clear. Every set that has some gem chase cards, like Ascended Heroes, has done well. Ascended Heroes will do well. So, why am I not buying it right now? Well, because I see in the short term that this set, its ceiling is going to be, let's say, 180, 190, kind of like Destined Rivals, and the basement's going to be about $100. My base case is that it's going to perform very similarly to Prismatic, where at release there's a ton of hype, a ton of excitement over the $1,000 chase, before it eventually settles in at about the $100 range. If that happens with Ascended Heroes, that's going to be the time to buy. I'm going to wait for that. And with my money, I've picked out some choices that I'm going to put it in instead. So, to start, I'm going to dare you to think outside the Pokeball. We're starting with Magic. First pick, Crimson Vow Draft. Oh, Crimson. Oh, it's just. Oh, God. Don't get within 6 feet of that. It'll give you COVID. It'll give you the Black Plague. Yeah, right. I mean, it's not 2023 anymore. Look, Crimson Vow Collector, Crimson Vow Set are both hanging out at around $200. As those sets continue to appreciate, you're going to see Crimson Vow Draft follow. And if you haven't been noticing, because you've been so invested in the Poke world, older Magic has been moving. So, for instance, Dominaria United Draft in the last 3 months has gone from about 105 to 130. Supply is running out, and people seem to have decided that they want to get in on some. So, you can find this for about $100 anywhere right now. Number 2. We're staying in Magic. I know. I probably lost everybody. Who's buying Magic? Well, I know. So, Final Fantasy play. This set has something that Ascended Heroes doesn't have. And that is confirmed sales above the $250 marker. So back in September of 2025, before the reprint hit and really threw cold water on the market, Final Fantasy Play was going for $260, $270 all day long. All day long. What does that tell you? That tells you that the market has decided that that product at that price point is worth it. Now, if the reprints didn't happen, what would have happened? We'll never know, but there's a good likelihood that it would have gone up to about 300 or so. The problem that I see in the short term for this is the threat of reprints. I couldn't say, we don't really know what's going on at Wizards ever. They say, okay, well, we got some Bloomborough in the printer queue. We got some Final Fantasy, probably some more Edge. You know, these things will come when they come, and you get what you get. So we don't actually know what's coming, but we are not going to see another enormous reprint, which means in the short term, there's a good opportunity for Final Fantasy Play to go up to about 200. You can pick this up right now on Game Nerds for about 140. Otherwise, 150 on eBay TCG Player. Quick shill for Game Nerds. They don't charge shipping or tax because they're based in Texas. So there's a lot of fancy tax stuff that you can get into, but I like to pick retailers that don't have their like tax nexus in my state. So good for Game Nerds. Okay, number 3, we're actually going to get back into Pokemon. Scarlet and Violet base Elite Trainer boxes. Now, this one's kind of a cheat. This one's a little bit of a cheat because you need to buy an actual case. So that case is on Hills Wholesale Gaming, $850 for the whole case. That comes down to $85 each. I know. That's like 7 times Ascended Heroes ETB. Cut me some slack, dude. I'm new to this, all right? I'm just trying to give you some options. So, what do I like about it? Well, the buy-in price at $85 a box is significantly lower than the market price at TCG Player. Right now, you got the Violet with Coridon on it going for about 100, and Scarlet with Coridon going for about 100, and you have the Violet with Maridon going for about 130. We're gonna lump them together and say the average is like 115. So if your base port price is $85 and you can sell it for 115, that gives you a golden opportunity for some short-term arbitrage, which is what I like to do when determining if I want to make a buy. Because if shit hits the fan and I need to get rid of that product quick, well, I can recoup my initial cost and move on with my life. So, Hills Wholesale Gaming. Kind of a spooky site. It looks like it shared a release day with the original Final Fantasy VII. But I've been doing business with them for a long time. I've never really had too big of a problem. Number 2. Battle Styles. You gotta say it in the mirror 3 times, and then Urshifu's gonna come out and he's gonna slap you in the face. Battle Styles. Battle Styles. Oh, I'm scared. I don't want to get slapped. So, Battle Styles is interesting because it's the only Sword and Shield set that has an alt art that is below $400. I'm going to say that again. Battle Styles is the only Sword and Shield set that has an alt art in it, and the booster box is below $400. You have a bona fide chase in the Tyranitar. You have an Empoleon, which is just awesome. And you have some of the Urshifu VMAXs that are going for like, what, I don't know, 50 to 70. Battle Styles is the Steam Siege of the Sword and Shield era. What has Steam Siege done recently? Went to $1,000. I anticipate the same thing will happen with Battle Styles. Yes, I know. It's the worst set ever. You should stay away with it. It's like Crimson Vow. Get it away from me. But you know, here's the thing. With some of these sets that nobody wants, that means that you're free to play in the sandbox by yourself. You know, you make a little poop castle. You know, grab the sand, drop it, makes a little poop castle. So, we kind of come to my number 1 pick. And this I'm going to be buying as much as I can possibly get. Before I reveal it, I'm going to tell you a little story about the winter of 2020. So I had the opportunity to buy Breakpoint Breakthrough Elite Trainer boxes for about $220 each, $210, $220 range. And I analyzed the hell out of it. I was like, you know what? X and Y is starting to get a little old, but who's going to be opening this? Nobody's going to go after these cards, right? They're the EV. The EV is terrible. Who's going to buy it? You know, if I could go back in time and wind up DK punch myself, I would do it. I would do it. And I would say, dude, freaking buy this. This is a screaming buy. And now, 6 years later, I've learned enough that I'm not going to ignore that opportunity again. Okay, so what am I talking about? We're talking about Sun and Moon Base and Crimson Invasion Elite Trainer boxes. What do I like about them? Well, for starters, if you buy them right now, you get to skip 9 years. 9 years of appreciation. And you basically get to use like the Konami code to get to the end of that waiting period, because that's what everybody says, right? I'm going to hold for 10 years minimum. 10 years minimum, and you can't convince me otherwise. I'm going to go to my grave with this. It'll keep me warmer than my jewelry. So you get, by buying these, you get to jump to the end. You get to jump to the end of the waiting period. And they're going for just a couple bucks more than Ascended Heroes right now. There's 19 Crimson Invasion ETBs on TCG Player. 19. What do you think's going to happen when dumbasses like me buy all that up because everybody else is over in Ascended Heroes trying to fucking be rock stars? No. No. You need to be where everyone else isn't. And you need to look for opportunities like this because they don't come along very often. So, my base case for the Sun and Moon base and Crimson Invasion, we're going to say 300 by the end of the year. And if you look at Breakpoint, Breakthrough, even Steam Siege, all of those ETBs are $1,000 boxes. And honestly, I don't see any different case for Crimson Invasion, Sun and Moon. What happens in another 10 years? What happens in another 10 years when there's zero left on the market? And you're going to be able to say, hey, I have this coveted piece that nobody else has. You're going to be able to declare your price, and then you are going to be the rock star. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you stayed till the end. See ya.